Hello everybody and welcome to this demonstration of adding electronics to an RC drift chassis. This is an RDX to be exact. These are the electronics I will be installing today. A Hobbywing Quick Run 10BL120 ESC. A Hobbywing Just Stock 10.5 turn motor. A Power HD D15 servo. A Yokomo V4 gyro. And the matching receiver to go with my Futaba handset. These are the tools I'm going to be using. I've got a 1.5 and a 2mm Allen driver and a knife to cut my tape with. On an RDX there are two main places to fit the ESC. Today we're going to be fitting it on the rear mount. I'm going to start by fitting the servo in the factory location. The gyro's up next, and these need to be fitted securely to stop interference. Never mount these on top of any other components. Find a nice flat surface, nice and central. I'm fitting mine with a thin double-sided adhesive foam tape. The same rules are applying for the receiver, but this can be fitted anywhere as the vibration shouldn't affect it. Note the numbers on the receiver. These will become very important when we start plugging everything in. When choosing a place to fit your ESC, you should take into consideration the length of the cables and plugs to ensure that they will reach the motor, the receiver and the battery. On the side of the ESC where the wires come out, take note of the markings for each wire, A, B, C, plus and minus. These are very important when it comes to plugging them in. See on the motor it also has A, B and C to ensure correct placement of the wires from the ESC. The other thing to be aware of when connecting the ESC and the motor is the sensor cable. These can be particularly fragile and take note that they are directional when plugging in. Try not to pull on the wire itself if you need to remove it. 9 times out of 10, if you're having a problem, it can be the sensor cable. When installing the motor, be aware of the length of the bolts you use. If they're too long, you can damage the internal components of the motor. Now all of my components are installed, it's time to connect them all. Starting with the gyro, you'll notice 3 plugs. One for the receiver, one for the gyro gain, this also plugs into the receiver, and the third one is a female plug. This is for your steering servo to plug into. The male plug with 3 wires plugs into channel 1. Note the correct orientation of the plug, either shown on the receiver or shown in the instructions. The ESC plugs into channel 2 on the receiver. Again, notice the orientation. And the plug on your gyro that has a single wire, this plugs into channel 3. This is a signal wire. Now everything is connected, it's time to plug in a battery and settle the endpoints. Make sure not to plug your battery in backwards, as this will cause an ESC to fail. Everything's lit up and we're looking good. At this point I'm going to mesh the spur and the pinion gears by adjusting the motor mount bolts. When meshing these gears, they shouldn't be tight together, there should be a little bit of room for the gears to rock. Okay, now time to set up the endpoints. Setting the throttle endpoint is done by putting the ESC in a learn mode. On the ESC I'm using today, this is achieved by holding down the red button whilst turning it on. Neutral trigger first, set by a short press on the red button. Then full throttle, then full reverse. Now to set the steering endpoints. I start by turning my endpoints down on my handset. To put the gyro in endpoint learn mode, push and hold the endpoint button on the gyro whilst turning on the ESC. Now I slowly turn up my endpoints on my handset whilst holding the steering fully to one side, watching for the steering to reach its full end travel. Repeat this both sides. Now I'm happy with the steering travel whilst holding either left or right at full lock. Apply a short press on the endpoint button on your gyro whilst holding left then right. Once complete, check that your wheels are turning out of the drift, as this may need changing if incorrect. There is a micro switch on the gyro to change direction. And that's it, you're all ready to rip. Thank you for watching, I hope this helps. See you all trackside soon.